Home those dinosaurs. Cleveland won this season series and has an 8-2 playoff record against the Raptors. Sam, considering the turnover in the Cavs roster and what we saw in the first round, do we throw away all of those numbers and just focus on what we'll see in Game 1 of this series?
I think if you're Cleveland, you hold on to those numbers, especially that 8-2 mark against the Raptors. But if you're Toronto, you got to go back to that game in Toronto where you blew Cleveland out by 30-plus points. And then you got to look at the differences. Look at Toronto's bench and how they've been playing. And now that they have Fred VanVleet back, they got their bench back strong. They're playing well. They come at you 10, 11 players deep. And when you look at Cleveland, look at the workload of Lebrón, Isaiah. 40-plus minutes a game in this tough series against Indiana. And now he's got to go to Toronto tomorrow with very little rest and play a hungry, rested Raptor team who is waiting to exercise those Cleveland Cavaliers demons.
Yeah, and the only advantage, Cleveland will have coming off a Game 7 is their Game 7 mentality. But as you just accurately pointed out, LeBron James may not have that Game 7 energy. So Game 1, it'd be interesting for me to watch how Cleveland's role players, how their bench plays against Toronto's role players in their bench. Because if Cleveland's bench and their role players don't step up and have some great games, not some good games, then that Game 1 could be a problem.
And Chris, to me, the huge advantage that Toronto have, they have three guys, multiple guys that they can throw at LeBron James. That they don't need them to score. They don't need them to rebound. All they need those three guys to do is focus on slowing LeBron James down. Not stopping him, but making him work. And what you want to do, you want to make LeBron James work for every basket so that he has no energy the last 6 minutes of the game. And Toronto has the type of depth that can do that. They're the only team that can put three guys on the floor and say, look, you don't have to do anything but guard and make LeBron James work hard. And that's a luxury that Dwayne Casey has that a lot of other coaches just don't have.
Yeah, and as you said, he can continue to throw bodies at him. But not only can he throw bodies at LeBron James, what I see as the key factor is he can throw energized bodies at LeBron James. So you're talking about guys who what we call have a high motor. These aren't, low energy guys.
Yeah.
These are
Siakam, OG. You're talking about guys with size.
Yeah, they got
6'8",
size,
6'9".
and they got motors, and then they got, they got a couple of fouls they can get too.
Exactly.
So you're talking about, 12 to 18 fouls at that position where they can throw at LeBron James. So it's going to be interesting to see how he responds to that, because the type of dominance that he had in that Indiana series, physically, I don't know if he had the same physical dominance presence in this Toronto series because of the size.
Well, Kevin Love definitely had a bad series in the first round against Indiana, but in the season against Toronto, he was actually a very good weapon for Cleveland in the sense that he stretched the floor, and that was an issue that Toronto had in guarding Kevin Love. You see him hitting the outside shot there, Sam. How much of a factor do you expect Kevin Love to be in the second round after having such a poor performance in the first round?
To me, if Cleveland's going to win this series, Kevin Love is going to have to step up and play big. The matchup between he and Serge Ibaka is going to be critical. We know what LeBron James is going to do. But after LeBron James, who can we pencil in and say is going to step up and have big games? And that's been the problem I've had with this Cleveland roster all of a sudden. When they made those trades, I like the trades, I like the young players, but you're asking guys who didn't start for their previous team to step up on the biggest stage of the NBA, playing with the biggest star in the NBA when everybody's going to be watching, and tell them to go out there and play great. Thus far, they haven't done it. If Kevin Love doesn't go back to playing Kevin Love basketball to where he's averaging at least 20 points and 8, 9 rebounds a game and shoot a good percentage, I don't think Cleveland can win this series, even if LeBron does what he did against Indiana. Man, Toronto's got a lot of weapons. They can go at you with Valanciunas, Serge Ibaka, Kyle Lowry, DeMar DeRozan, and then they get to that bench, and then they come off with energy and defense. They just a tough matchup for this Cleveland Cavaliers team.
Yeah, and to me, the most interesting matchup will they play Love at the 5 against Valanciunas? And I don't know if they can get away with that, because Valanciunas is a big, rugged, tough guy, and he can score now down low. Now, does that bring a Tristan Thompson into play? Now, he's from Toronto. He's from Canada. He will want to prove something to, his family and friends and everything else. But this is a series now that Thompson can play in and have some type of impact as he did on Game 7.
Well, one quick thing. Jonas Valanciunas going into Game 7 with a plus 42 in the series against Washington.
Can you say that? Can you say that one more time?
Plus 42. So a lot of people in Toronto was giving Dwayne Casey grief because Valanciunas in Game 4, remember, didn't play in the fourth quarter. He played him in Game 5, Game 6. You saw what happened. So if you're going to try to play Kevin Love at the 5, I don't think Dwayne Casey going to take the bait and go small. I think he's going to stay bigger because if Kevin Love's shooting threes and Valanciunas posting up getting 2s and +1s on the basket, it's going to be a tough matchup.
Interesting to see if Tristan Thompson starts Game 1 in the second round as he started Game 7 at the end of the first round. Well, the Warriors played at a championship level. The reigning Finals MVP, Kevin Durant, stepped up, but now they'll get Steph Curry back. We take a look at the Pelicans. Warriors next.